So here we go. This is a NIXIE tube clock, as the clock may have appeared back in the 70s. This is based loosely on the DigiVista clock design that was in Popular Electronics December 1970. You can see that kind of on the tag across the bottom. It uses pretty standard ZM1000 NIXIE tubes. The tens digit for the hours is actually just a tall neon lamp. And then there's AM and PM indicators. I've gone ahead and added the two stages to show the divide by 60 that goes on to convert the 60 Hertz line frequency to 1 second pulses. So you can see the two digits there to the right of the decimal point madly counting away. There's a divide by 10 and then a divide by 6 there, producing a pulse a second, assuming that the AC line frequency is 60 Hertz, which it's pretty close here in the US. Especially when averaged over a day or a month kind of period. The card edge connectors the boards are plugged into, you can see back in there, were reclaimed out of some old equipment. The plexiglass case, of course, is just a piece of plexiglass bent. The power supply module you can see down there was another board provided by RCA for NIXIE tube experimenters. It's basically just a little diode bridge for the 180 volts AC with a filter cap, and then it takes 12 volts AC center tap that again through a couple of diodes to a filter cap, and the nice little pass transistor on the heatsink you can see there with the output voltage actually set by the potentiometer that you can see there. So, you know, pretty for the 70s, it's a pretty standard power supply. It's nothing, you know, to brag about, honestly. The transformer is a reclaimed transformer, I believe from an old piece of NIXIE equipment that I had that was beyond repair. It's old enough that it actually has cloth insulation on the leads. I date it back to probably the 60s or maybe early 70s, maybe even a little earlier, not sure. So I've tried to keep as much of it authentic to the period as I could, even though I assembled this just a few years ago and have just recently here repaired it. The TTL Logic, see if I can get around here so you can see one of the boards. There's a couple of socketed pieces of TTL there, a divider and a 7441 NIXIE driver. All of those are date code correct. Some of them actually came with the kits, some of them I've had to find in my stock. Again, I've tried to keep everything as close to what would have been available in the 70s as possible. The little boards the NIXIE tubes are on just kind of float in the sockets. I've got a little wire strap between them, just kind of holding them a little stiffer. When I built clocks in the 70s, this was pretty much what got built, be it LED or NIXIE. The circuit for the hours is kind of an interesting kludge in that it's got a course count from 1 to 12 and produce AM and PM. The two little boards in there, you can probably see it down in there, actually are wired together. The tens and ones hour digits are wired together. The hours driver has a 7400 and a 7473 on it that are used to muck, honestly, with the decade counter over here to get it to count 0 to 9 and then to 10, 11, or actually 1 to 9 and then 10, 11, 12 and then reset back to 0. The circuit's pretty interesting. I don't know if you can see down in there or not. Between the edge connectors, there's just wire ran. So the resistors you can see in there are where the pulse is sent, saying, hey, you count up to your next digit. Those resistors are there because ultimately if I put it in set mode back here and come back here and increment the seconds, or the minutes as I am right now, it's kind of a wire ORed, and the resistor basically the TTL output to truly be wire ORed, even though it's not open collector. So again, very cheesy and cheap, but works. There's a couple of capacitors hidden down in there, a tantalum, a polyester, and I ended up adding an electrolytic over here that were really done for signal conditioning to get it to accurately divide and do the things it needed to do. To count, the 180 volt rail is the second pin down, ground, 5 volt rail below that, and then basically the interconnects between the boards to send the pulses upstream. So there it is, a pretty simple NIXIE tube clock, really based on the technology of the 1970s, put together in the last couple of years by myself and just repaired today to get it running again. Hope you enjoyed the little video.